1 and 0. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and please have some water. Right. Thank you so much for joining in meditation. We are discussing chapter 16 from the book The Eternal Validity of the Soul, SETH speaks. So in this chapter, we will get to know probable selves, probable systems, men and gods. So in these probable systems, we in the last session, we have discussed about the multi-dimensional self of our own self, and how our thoughts they become the reality according to on the basis of the emotion, and all the thoughts they are all the thoughts they do carry certain emotions. So the stronger the emotion, the sooner the thought turns into reality. Of course, when we deny here in the 3-dimension here, it will take place, it will become reality in the other dimensional self of our own selves. So the lack of perception, here Seth Master says, cannot destroy its validity. So though here we are not able to perceive it, though it is not, though we deny it, but it will take place, it will become a reality in other dimensions. And now we will continue today. The soul. Seth Master says, so how we can't define the soul. So we can experience it, we can say in a few terms, but we can't define it completely. Right. So the words fall short always. So when we describe these things, so when we try to describe, that is what is beyond the 3-dimension self, what is beyond the beyond this dense energies, we can't describe in words. Right. The soul can be described for that matter. So as multi-dimensional infinite act, the Seth Master says, we can say like it is like multi-dimensional being. So each minute probability being brought somewhere into actuality and existence. So each and every probability, each and every chance, each and every option, the choice will take place, will brought somewhere into actuality, into our existence. It's not like it's not like going to someone is going to experience this, but we, our own self, is experiencing in other dimensions. Right. So it's lot we can tap this, we can have the connection between this in dreams, like why only in dreams? So when the ego mind rests, ego mind is, it's not like the complex that we usually define the ego. So it's like ego mind is like the logic mind, or the mind that we always like in a wakeful state in this 3-dimension self. So if the mind rests, so what will happen? The consciousness, the consciousness in us, we can tap to that probable systems, that multi-dimensional being of our own self, and this we will experience in dreams. And I have experienced this in multiple times. It became like, for me it's like regular. So when because I regularly experience dreams, so whenever I fall asleep, I go into dreams. So that's how I got to know about my other selves. Right. So this is how maybe it resembles just like us, or maybe not. So it may be in some other consciousness, in some other form, but we will get to know. How we'll get to know? We will get to know that this is ourself, this is us. Right. So here again he says, like from any given point of your existence, however, you can glimpse other probable realities and sense the reverberations of probable actions beneath those physical decisions that you make. That means whatever that the echoes, the vibrations of that emotion, of that thought, of that possibility, we will experience. Somehow we will experience the vibrations, we can experience it. So this we can often tap in the dream state. So while I'm reading this, so, and Seth Master added some more information for us. So he said, not only the choices that we make, right? So he added an information apart from the texted one here from the book. So he said, like even suppressed and unnoticed emotions, like thoughts, they do take reality in other probable systems, right? I repeat, the suppressed and unnoticed emotion. So there is a difference between, right? We can understand suppressed emotions and unnoticed emotions. So suppressed, that means we know. So we know it, but we ignore it. So we just ignore it. Or due to some outer circumstances, certain emotions that that this individual, if this individual suppressed it, so then the suppressed emotion so does have energy. Okay, so as long as you suppress it, the energy of that emotion becomes double, triple, it just doubles the energy. So here, like, we should not suppress any emotion. So in fact, we have to understand it. So um, how to understand? So when the certain emotions rise, like from these three gunas, right? So when these emotions rise, so we have to observe it. We have to be in an observer state. So this is what I tried. I got to know. So whatever you know, you have to experiment it. Try to experiment it. So unless we experiment it, we can't understand, we can't go to the depths of it, and we can't understand the what we say, the multi-dimensional, the multifacets of the wisdom. So wisdom, what we know, is not just, we'll get to know only one side. The information, so whatever we read, whatever we hear, and whatever we listen, it's only an information. So though I read this book, this is the information that I'm getting from Seth Master. But when we try it, when we experiment it, that will become actual wisdom. The information becomes wisdom when we experiment or when we implement it. So, so when I try to, and I understood that there are certain suppressed emotions. So because the childhood, because of the childhood experiences, the way we were brought up with certain belief systems, so that means there will be some other, like, belief systems unnoticed in us, some emotions which are not expressed fully. So then I understood, okay, let me express it, but it's not like we should not add words immediately to that emotion. So adding words to that emotion in our mind, so we just program that emotion in our mind initially. So when the emotion rises, what we think, so we add words. So then we let out those words with that same emotion. So when we let out, so whatever we want to express it, it is not, it's not going in a right way. Right. So whatever we want to express it, it's not coming in a right way, but instead the words becoming stronger and stronger, like, the stronger words that we let out. So those words are not the the right words. And sometimes we feel like, oh, this is not what I meant to. So sometimes happens, this is not what I meant to. It just got out. So why this is happening? So when we attach these words, the emotion gets intensified, it becomes double. So that's what the anger or these suppressed emotions. So and also it won't this emotion is not based on the circumstances. So sometimes the incident maybe carries a small emotion, that means a less emotion, the intensity may be less, but whatever we express may be more. Why? Because this suppressed emotion, this suppressed, so it's not exactly to that moment. So it is being built day by day, or it is being built. So what happens when it comes to certain level, that means the energy is already built in it. So one small incident, one small trigger, we can say, so what will happen, it will burst like a volcano, like a volcano. Yes. So why? Because already the energy got built, just like a volcano, the energy got built, and one small extra degree, so it got blast. So this is how, even for a small incidents, even for a small situations, people so think we should, that's the reason we should not judge them. So why they are reacting in such a way? Why? And this is not just, this is just a no, like this is not how the situation to react in this way. It is like intensity is more, because they have suppressed it for a longer time. So what we need to do? So when emotion we are letting go, we have to understand it. We have to first, we should not add words. First of all, we should not add words to that emotion. We have to be in an observer state. So what happens when we be in an observer state? The intensity or the degree gets down to the most of 50%. Definitely it will calms down. So when we be in an observer state, so then yeah, if it is unbearable to that 50%, then we can let go. But even when we observe more, so what happens? So actually what we want to say, we can let go. So then we can add words. So this is how, this is why, see, like any rejection or anything that we want to express it, we can express it in a right way with the right intensity of the emotion. That means whatever the message that we want to pass to the other person, we can easily express it. So the message will go straight away to that person. And if it is in the first circumstance, if in the first instance, so the emotion is high, what happens? The other person, like we are all like electromagnetic beings, like we do carry certain energies. So the energy of that emotion communicates first than the words. First the energy communicates. So whenever you see, even the thought, when we are not speaking to that person, if we carry certain emotion regarding that person, what happens? Our energy speaks first, our consciousness speaks, interacts with that person's consciousness. So that's how we trigger others as well. So here, uh, so coming to that emotion, so when this emotion, when we are letting go, so that means when we are trying to just express it in the exact, the 100% way. So what happens? The words get intense, when the words get stronger, the other persons take the energy, but not the message what we want to deliver. So here the message is missing, the emotion speaks. And when we observe, and when we later, when we express it, that's how, when we understand about ourselves. So when in this second instance, what happens? The message carries the, we can, message can be delivered with the right intensity, with the right energy, so that the other person can understand the message. So most of the miscommunications and most of like misunderstandings like happens because of uh, of like improper uh, improper like expressions. So we have to express it. Yes, we have to express it, but before we have to understand our own emotion. So that's how I got to know, okay, this is, oh, you are getting now. So don't get attached to that emotion, right? Oh, now I'm feeling anger. So drop that I, just observe that, right? So when we add I to that, we accumulate all the past emotions, all the past thoughts to that emotion. So we just go into the past. So that's not the right. So being in that particular situation, express it and leave it. Leave it. So rest, what we need to, after expressing, just we need to forgive and forget. That forgive and the forget, in sense, it's not like this a mistake of the other person. So whatever we create our own reality. But here what we say, we have to forget about that instant. So next moment should be fresh, a fresh start, right? So like this is how I got to know about myself. So here, like suppressed and unnoticed emotions. So here even the suppressed emotions, they do carry, and they go into the other cells also. And here unnoticed emotions. So here unnoticed means like lack of awareness, what I observed. So or we simply they just deny, oh, I'm not having that emotion, so I'm not, they deny it. So don't wear any mask, just be true to yourself. That's the real enlightenment, being true to ourselves. So here they says, suppressed and unnoticed thoughts, they do take reality in other probable systems. Now, so what about in the wakeful state? In the dream state, yes, we connect. We all do connect. It's not about the one single individual. So we all connect in the dream state. We all continuously being interacting with other cells, right? So Seth Master says, not only in a dream state, in a wakeful state, you can experience it. So how we can experience it? Why? Like a simple act of imagination, a simple thing, imagination. See, like we got to know that there are multiple choices, multiple probabilities, multiple choices, multiple thoughts in us, right? Before taking the decision, so we have to just try each and every thought. What happens if I go in this way? So what happens if I go in this way? That means, the shopping. First we select few dresses. We try, and and again we filter from that, and so we check if it is suitable for us or not, isn't it? In the same way, there are multiple thoughts. We have to just try it. So what happens when we try? That means we have to just imagine. And for that, Seth Master says you have to be alone and peaceful. So our mind should become calm. So when we are trying these probabilities, and this is also I have experimented. What happens when we do this? Like each mental act opens up a new dimension of actuality. Seth Master says, in a manner of speaking, your slightest thought gives birth to words. That means the limiting factor that we have, we can simply experience the unlimitedness. Um, Let me share my like experience. I was supposed to do some work, like spiritual work, um, like yeah, some work. Okay, so I was thinking, am I able to do that? So am I able to accomplish that work? Because it's necessary, and it's like it is. I am like I should, and I must do that work. So if it is is it possible for me? And how can I do that? So this is like limiting factor. So when I read this paragraph, so when I got this wisdom, I simply closed my eyes, calmed down myself, and I thought, okay, let me think that how it would be if I say yes, if I go with that work. Okay, so it's like alone, as I have to. Okay, so just imagine, okay, when I try to the end, what will happen? Oh wow, it's so like fantastic. So I can do that. So next thing is, what is like if it is no? If it is like no, if I'm not ready, so that means I can see that I am limiting there, limiting my own growth. That means the choosing of that, the whatever the limiting factor here, I have opened the doors of my own growth, of my own self. Then I got to know that one of myself is already that. That means not only that there are like what we say, we felt like there are some disadvantage of what we carry, certain energies, we receive the certain thoughts from other cells also, but there are more advantages. That means the probability, that means the potentials in the other cells, we can connect to that potential. See, okay, we can connect to that potentials, we can connect to that greater energies. So that's what we have to think. So when I am open that, oh, I got to know, I know this, I am capable of this, I can do this. This is what happened on that day. And I got the I am now I am like courage enough to do that work. I have got that enough courage. So we do all have that potential in us. We all do have that whatever the potentials, the other say like powers, but the belief system, what I say, that programmed already, the programmed belief system already, that what we carry here in this dimension, not in others, in this dimension becomes limiting factor. So when we have to be open. So when we are open to that possibilities, when you say like Google, we say like if we take this road, what will happen? So it will just map out, so you're going to this is, and this is where you will, the traffic and everything, it gives us information. So it's our choice to go with that suggestion, or we can take alternate routes, isn't it? So when we choose alternate routes, then again it gives us information. So if we choose, this is what the time you can reach there, and we select the best route. So we have choice, and here also we have the choice either to follow or not, right? So each mental act opens up a new dimension of actuality. And one more thing is, um, we have gathered here some we have gathered for full moon here, like in person. So before that, I was thinking, oh, it's like for me, I have to, like it will take for me a long time to travel and all. So I was thinking to join or not. So I experimented this. So I closed my eyes and thought, okay, what happens if I go? That's so beautiful. Then I decided, okay, now I need to go now. Okay, so this is what we can experiment it with. So don't just uh, rush into the decisions, but instead here we have to think, we have to choose each and every possibility, and to the end of that possibility, what will happen, to the end, to the core. It's okay, be whatever we can, to the extent we can understand it, to the extent we can see it, we have to, and then you have to take the decisions. And here it says each probable system of reality, of course, then creates other systems, other such systems, And any one act realized brings forth an infinite number of unrealized acts that will also find their actualization. And here, when we be that with greater energies, and these energies will help in the other systems also. So so what you do is also reflected to some degree in the experience of your probable selves, and vice versa. It says vice versa. So here, whatever we think, it will manifest in some other realities, and some other realities have and some we also attract the possibilities of some other realities. And here, and you can benefit greatly by the various experiences of your probable self and gain from their knowledge and abilities. That's really, really true. Even we can grasp the knowledge, we can get the knowledge as well. So here, if I am thinking about the same example, the same experience that I have shared before about the spiritual spiritual work, then slowly whatever I was already that I started to take that knowledge from that self. From that self is not like really like consciousness, but I slowly slowly it is like building up the courage, and also the information, the knowledge related to that spiritual work is building in me, that I could easily experience that. And in the next session, we will get to know about more, like there is beyond from all that is that is all that is, we can say, like I am that, isn't it? The four Mahavakyas, I am that. So one of them is I am that, the Tattvamasi. So Seth Master says there is beyond all that is, that we will discuss in the next session. So if you want to share anything, you can unmute yourself, and thank you so much for today's session, friends. Right. Then, yes, sir.
Very beautiful, Sharda Garu. Wonderful wisdom. I see that Seth Master, how beautifully he constantly explains the concept of we create our own reality in multiple ways, different ways. It boils down to this single statement: we create our own reality. If we catch hold of this statement, and if we constantly look upon our thoughts, and we look upon our own experiences, reflecting upon this, I'm creating my reality. Everyone is creating their reality. We are creating our reality. Greater evolution of the soul happens instantly. So, very beautifully you have shared, not just the topic in itself combined with your experiences. Very beautiful. And it is the experience of everyone. The only thing is now people are not conscious, not aware of them. When we experiment with the idea of knowing this, looking into one aspect, even that that is a highlight in one's day or life, instantly we become conscious of everything else. We become aware. So it's like one formula is enough to understand that for every problem there are different formulas, but you just need to apply. So in the same way, and how one can visualize and make that reality instantly happen in a different dimension, or a different self acting upon it to make that reality happen as well, is wonderful. I had experiences in the past, very funny. I used to experiment as well. And I did not know how the visualization used to work, but I knew a bit of it. So whenever I had office meetings and unnecessary talks going on, and I knew the topic is completed, but unnecessarily things are going on, I used to visualize everyone will come to a conclusion and end the meeting. And surprisingly, within few seconds, they stop. and they close the meeting.
Wow.
So a lot of things like that, we can help to conserve the energy, which not only helps us, but as well everyone who are involved in it, right? So the intent as well is important in order to witness those happenings much faster. So one has to experiment, or rather experimenting is nothing but witnessing the happening. So then it becomes, you start to play, because life is a play. Or or else you see that you are being played, if not.
Yes.
So life becomes a play when we start to witness this. Life becomes a fun when we start to understand the realities behind every experience we have. So very beautiful, and looking forward for what you're going to share next week about what is beyond all that is, because coincidentally in the wisdoms we are sharing in other sessions about the Upanishads, Katha Upanishad, it also speaks about the same truth. So curious. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, Usha.
Yeah, thank you, Sharda and Ram. Beautiful sharings here. Sharda, you brought two important things today. One is the reality that is witnessed in the dream state, and the reality that could be even applied in the wakeful state, right? So one thing is the dream state reality. Last week I shared that yes, I am into a dream state where a reality is being witnessed, but I am unable to integrate, and there is a question mark. Is what I told the last time, but the integration happened. I will also tell how it happened. The I witnessed a reality in the dream state, and the activation of that information happened when I was in the nature. Knowingly, unknowingly, some information got downloaded when I was walking in the sun barefoot. Something got inside, and in the meditation the next morning, the complete uh, reality was disclosed, where the connection of that I witnessed in the dream state and how I could apply in this reality to bring a closure. So to connect, yes, the reality might happen in a different dimension, can be a dream state, and the integration in the current reality could be brought in multiple ways through meditation, being in the nature, sun, many ways. So the integration is true, only it gets activated when you let your intention happen, right? Just I want to understand why it is happening, please reveal it to me. Just setting the right intention, many things get disclosed. This is on the dream state. Other important point you also mentioned is how realities could be manifested in the wakeful state. It is again beautiful where you said imagination is the key, and also Ram as well said the visualization of how he does it, right? I could also uh, do that. And here the key is we should not limit ourselves when we imagine, right? That is the very important point you said. Why limit? Even if I wanted to travel somewhere to experience something, I should be open enough to all possibilities. And things are getting opened without your knowledge. It just gets manifested one after the other, one after the other. And it is so beautiful. So, wakeful state, it is imagination without limitation, is what you said. And it's beautiful, Sharada. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Usha. Thank you for sharing. Yes. So, yeah, yes, Masters. So, we will meet again the, with the next topic in this chapter. Thank you all. Thanks for the sharings and thanks for adding your energies, Masters. Then that's all. Now, enjoy the rest of the time. Have a great day. Thank you. Namaste.
You too. Bye.
Bye.